morning. If you would please introduce yourself and spell your name for us.
I'm Duquan Evans. First name Daquan, last name Evans.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Evans. If you could, where are you currently living?
I live in Ocala, Florida.
Back in 2022, in August of 2022, where were you living at that time?
I was staying off 13. Well, I can't remember the name of it, but I was down here in school as a student athlete in some condominium apartments.
What school were you going to?
University of South Florida.
Right, and you were a student at, what were you playing?
Football.
Right, and what are you doing now?
I'm a mentor for Wake Up Mentoring based out of Orlando, Florida.
All right. Now going back to August 22nd August 29th of 2022, you were a student here at USF, and were you living in the Heritage Club apartments?
Yes, sir.
All right. On that particular night, did something happen?
Yes, sir.
All right. What do you recall? When do you recall the first time knowing something was going on?
I heard like 4 or 5 shots.
All right. Where were you when you heard those shots?
In my house, in my room.
All right. And you described 4 or 5. Is that how many you thought you heard?
Yeah.
All right. What did you do upon hearing those shots?
Like back at home, I'm used to hearing those type of things going on. So I just reacted and made sure I was good in the house and just really stayed there until I heard, something else from my Ring camera. And I just went downstairs and ran into a lady.
How long after you heard these shots did you hear this or see this lady?
On my Ring camera, probably like next 5 to 10 minutes.
All right. Could it have been quicker than that or longer than that? Do you know?
No, I don't know.
All right. What did you do upon seeing this lady?
I went downstairs and she asked for help, basically for me to call, the officers. She asked for the address, and that's what I did.
All right. And were you in fact, the person who called 911?
Yes, sir.
All right. And it was your phone she was on during that conversation?
Yes, sir.
All right. How did she appear to you?
Like shocked, like she was lost the words a little bit.
All right. Now you mentioned a ring camera. So your building had a Ring camera at that point in time?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm gonna show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 7. Did you have a chance to look at this video?
Yes, sir.
All right. And this is a video, in fact, from your Ring camera on that night?
Yes, sir.
All right. And does this fairly and accurately depict kind of what happened in that moment when she was at your door?
Yes, sir.
All right. Judge moved out State's Exhibit number 7 admitted into evidence.
No objection. It's admitted.
Yeah, publish, Your Honor.
Yes.
What is the address?
What's the number?
So that's all the Ring camera was able to record on that particular moment?
Yes, sir.
And that woman out there, that's the woman who you gave the phone to when you were talking to 911.
Yes, sir.
Now you said on the 911 call that the shots were about 2 minutes before you called 911. Would that be about right?
Yes, sir.
After hearing those shots, calling 911 and seeing that lady out there, did you do anything else?
I went back to sleep.
Okay. And did you eventually talk to officers or detectives in the case?
That I can remember, I know a detective came back to my house, I think a couple of days later, and she got the Ring footage. That's
She
all.
got the Ring footage from you?
Yeah.
Judge Birmingham, 1 moment.
Yes.
And just to be clear, you said you called 911 2 minutes after you hear these shots, or about that time.
Yes, sir.
Had you seen Shirley Williams before you called 911?
No, sir.
You called 911 first, and then you saw Miss Williams at the door, or how did the timing of it work?
No, after the Ring camera, then I called her for.
Then you called.
Yeah.
So you'd seen her at the Ring door before, and then you called 911.
Yeah, when she asked.
Okay. And again, you described her as shocked.
Yeah.
Right. Was she be able to communicate with you?
A little bit. Just asked for me to call 911. That's all I can remember.
All right, Judge, I don't have any further questions, Mr. Evans.
Right.
Good morning, Mr. Evans.
Good morning.
Now, back in August of 2022, you were living at that Heritage Club Apartments.
Yes, ma'am.
How long had you lived there at that point?
Probably like a year.
Okay. And your schedule was pretty busy back then in the summer.
Yes, ma'am.
So it wasn't a situation where you would kind of hang out around the apartment or anything like that.
No, ma'am.
All of the places in that complex are all townhouses.
Yes, ma'am.
And you lived there with a roommate?
Yes, ma'am.
Did your roommate ever come out or do anything when this happened?
No, ma'am. He was asleep.
Okay, so you were asleep also when you did hear the shots?
Yeah. Once I heard him, I woke up.
Okay, and you said that you came downstairs, so your bedroom, I assume, is upstairs?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
And then you come downstairs and end up coming outside?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone come to your door, or was she there at your door as you were walking out?
Just when I opened it right there.
Okay. And the person that you saw that the state is describing as Shirley Williams, she wasn't someone that was known to you, right?
I don't know her at all.
Okay, so you didn't know that they lived across or anywhere that never had any contact with them.
No, ma'am.
The setup of the complex that you were at, your townhouse building, there would be like a couple of townhouses right next to each other.
Yes, ma'am.
And yours was, I believe, the second one or the first one?
Probably the second or third one because in the middle.
Okay. And then there's like a walkway or a sidewalk, and then there's townhouses across from you, and you all face each other.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then if you're to come out of where your townhouse is and turn, that's the parking lot where you would be assigned a parking spot or whatever for your unit.
Yes, ma'am.
And then the parking spaces across from your parking space would be assigned to the units that are next to that.
Yes, ma'am.
And it almost forms like a T, right? Like you guys would be across from each other, and then there would be other townhouses that are kind of dead end from where you were.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you kept going past your townhouse, there would be like a pool and other units that way, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When you first came out, was there anyone else out there besides this woman?
Not that I remember.
Okay. And you end up being the one that first calls 911.
Yes.
And then as you're talking to the operator on 911, you end up handing the phone over to the female who came to your door.
That I can remember. Yes.
Okay. And you don't have any other contact other than maybe at some point getting your phone back.
That's all.
Okay. So you go back to sleep. You don't know anything else about what happened.
No, ma'am.
And as far as this person appearing to be in shock or anything like that, you don't know her, but that was kind of your first impression of her demeanor at that time.
Yes, ma'am.
If I could have one moment.
Yes.
Nothing further.
Mr. Evans, just to clear something up, I misspoke and I called her Shirley Williams. Her name's Shirley Bass. Do you know Shirley Bass?
No, sir.
Okay, so when you saw that lady at your door, was that the first time you'd seen her?
Yes, sir.
All right. Had you ever spoken to her previous to that?
No, sir.
Did you ever speak to her after that?
No, sir.
All right, so that was the only time that you had ever seen Miss Bass.
Yes, sir.
Nothing further, Judge.
All right. You can step down, sir. Thank you. He released from his subpoena.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Call your next witness.
They were called Deputy Scott Rainey. we move quick just for a second?
Sure.
Mm. Very interesting. Very interesting. Oh, I can.
Right here, please.
Ah.
Do you solemnly swear or
I need
affirm
to.
that the testimony that you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you, sir.
Good morning. If you would please introduce yourself and spell your name for us.
Yes, ma'am. Deputy Rainey, Ranney.
You have a first name?
Scott.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I'm just going to remove all objections as to this witness.
All right. Thank you. Sam Rollings.
Deputy, how are you currently employed?
At the District 1 office as a patrol deputy.
All right. And you work for the sheriff's office?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been working with Hillsborough County?
15 years.
And what are your duties as a patrol deputy?
To answer calls,